That's what Al Jazeera's Rawya Rageh in Cairo. Rawya, you've been down to the scene. What did you see when you were there?
Well, it was a scene of a raging street battlefield, really clashes on every corner near the defense ministry, in the vicinity of the defense ministry, people exchanging throwing all sorts of things at each other, sticks, rocks, pebbles, even using material at a nearby construction site. All these materials were used as makeshift weapons. We've heard several pops of gunshots at the scene. It was not clear to us the nature of these gunshots, if it was live ammunition or blanks or pellet shots. But what we know is that the Interior Ministry had confirmed in the past hour that 11 people have died, and confirms some really grisly details that had been reported all along by the protesters and activists at the scene. At least 2 of these people who lost their lives at the scene, of the protesters who lost their lives at the scene, apparently their throats had been slit. More than 5 others have died as a result of gunshots, and several stabbings and other very brutal fatalities, or rather fatal injuries. Now, when we were there, it took hours until we finally saw the security forces arriving at the scene, and as soon as they arrived, the clashes came to an abrupt end. Now, David, all of this is happening as the country is in a rather precarious political situation. You have a highly contested presidential race coming up in less than 3 weeks. You have the committee that was supposed to write the country's first constitution, the preeminent guiding document that was supposed to guide the country after the revolution, frozen by court order. An ongoing standoff between the parliament, which is led by the Muslim Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice Party, and the cabinet, which is backed by the military. So a very murky political scene, and ongoing bickering between the various political factions, and in the middle of it all, a highly confused and frustrated population.
Is it going to make any difference to the election itself when it is held? Could it be postponed?
This, as I mentioned, had been all along a highly contested race. The reasons, the legalities, the various constitutional issues had been in question. The fact that we're having a president that's going to be voted on before a fully fledged constitution detailing the powers of this president, whether it's going to be a presidential system, a parliamentary system, all sorts of details are still lingering. And all along there were questions whether, as a result of these legal wranglings, the actual presidential elections will be postponed. But we've heard very strong remarks from people within the protest movement that the country simply cannot afford to postpone the presidential elections, that the country needs new leadership, needs civilian leadership, that it's simply time for the Mubarak-era generals to abdicate power because of the botched way they have mismanaged this transitional period over the past 14 to 15 months. But it has been also very clear, the military council has been very clear, that the presidential elections will go ahead as scheduled. Now, in the past few hours, we have seen a number of presidential hopefuls suspend temporarily their campaigning. Whether that will lead to a wider movement or a wider push to delay the presidential elections, that remains to be seen, David.
Yeah, thank you, Rawya. That's Rawya Rageh in Cairo.